I want to talk about something today that I have actually experienced personally. Is this whole thing around female bosses, women in leadership, right? Because I've noticed the woman is firm, she's difficult. When she's direct, she's rude. When she has standards, suddenly she's intimidating. But then, if men do exact same thing, they are considered decisive, a strong leader, a confident person. So I want to talk about it, and this is not from a man versus women perspective. It's just coming from my experience as a woman in leadership, basically, so to say. Hi guys, my name is Fola. If you enjoy conversations about career, leadership, personal growth, and generally being a best version of yourself, you are in the right space. Let me just say this before anybody misunderstands me. I'm not saying every female boss is amazing. Far from it. What I'm saying here is just like we have genuinely difficult female bosses, we also have difficult male bosses. There are good leaders and bad leaders on both sides. This is not a case of women are better than men. What I am saying is, do we judge differently when some behaviors come from a woman rather than a man? So I'll give you an example of something that happened to me at work. There was a situation where I was addressing someone, a man, and someone said to me, Fola, whether you like it or not, you are talking to a man and you're a woman, and it might be perceived in some certain way. And I remember thinking, oh, so we're still here. Because this is a workplace and we're all professionals. So why has my gender suddenly entered the conversation? That incident made me realize maybe we are not far away from the old ideas we used to have, but we think that we have abandoned those ideas. Because I kept asking myself, if a man was addressing another man, would there be a conversation about, Fola, you're a man and you're talking to another man? When the role is reversed, right? A woman is giving instruction, correcting someone, speaking very firmly. That's when the conversation about, oh, but you're a woman, why are you speaking to a man like that comes in. For me, that shouldn't even be the question. The question should be, was she professional? Was she fair? Was what she was saying necessary? That's what should matter. It doesn't mean I cannot disagree with a male colleague. Being a woman should not affect me correcting a male subordinate. It doesn't mean I have to over-explain myself or soften everything I say just to make someone comfortable that I'm a woman in certain position of authority. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that women should disrespect people. I don't think anybody should. In fact, being a boss does not give you any right to embarrass people or disrespect them. But I also think respect should not be confused with submission, and professionalism should not be confused with silence. Sometimes it's the feeling. You can feel things without people actually talking. That's where body language comes in, right? You can feel pushback. You can feel someone reacting to you differently. And sometimes you can think, okay, are you pushing back because you genuinely do not agree with me? Or are you just uncomfortable because I am the one saying it? And again, I'm not sitting here trying to say that every disagreement I've ever had with a man is because I am a woman. No, that's not what I'm saying. Sometimes some people genuinely disagree with you. Sometimes your communication may not even be perfect. At times you might be wrong, and that's fine. As a leader, you have to be able to take feedback. But when someone literally tells you you're a woman and you're talking to a man, and these things can be perceived in a certain way, you definitely know these things exist. And what if you're single? That's another layer I find interesting. If you're a single woman holding a position of authority, how does that change the way people see you? You're giving instructions, you're setting boundaries, you're making decisions, you're holding people accountable, and you're single. I feel that makes certain people uncomfortable because you don't fit into the traditional idea of how they feel that a woman is supposed to behave. I'm not saying everybody thinks this way, but I think it's worth asking. So let me say this. I've never had problems reporting to a woman. In fact, one of my most recent head of departments is a woman, and when I found out it was a woman that was coming to head the department, I was excited. I was really looking forward to experiencing female leadership after I've not had one for a while. And that's because from my experience and observation, I tend to see that women leaders are detailed. Women leaders do not leave room for you being average. They want things done properly. They want you paying attention to details. They want to know what's happening. And many times, they've had to hold themselves to high standards. And before someone says, so men cannot be detailed, of course they can, I'm not saying I prefer female bosses to male bosses either. I've never had any issues working with whoever was fair, competent, and had the capability to lead. You can have a poor leader regardless of the gender. That's why sometimes I find it very interesting when people have challenges reporting to female authorities, because I've sat under female leadership, I've learned from female leadership, I've been in that position. There is one thing about female leaders that is kind of interesting. I feel female bosses do not believe they can be average or they should be average. And I genuinely feel that comes from a fact that historically and even today, women believe they have always had to prove themselves that they are worthy to be in the room, that they actually earn their rights to that position. Nobody favored them. They are not just occupying a seat. So they prepare, they pay attention, they go into details, they push themselves because they want excellence. Men can be average in a position and then people excuse him like, you know what, he's still learning, give him time. But a woman, make one mistake and suddenly it's like, are you sure she's really qualified for this role? And honestly, sometimes it makes women more intentional about how they lead. Again, I'm not saying this applies to every woman, right? I'm just saying this from my own personal observation. So are some female bosses firm? Yes. Are some feared? Definitely. Are some misunderstood? Absolutely. And are some genuinely difficult? Of course. But maybe the bigger question is, are we judging the behavior itself, or we are judging the gender of the person displaying that behavior? Because at the end of the day, leadership should really come down to competence, fairness, character, and results, and not whether the person giving the instruction is a man or a woman. But I'd really love to know what you think. Have you ever worked under a female or male boss? What are your experiences? And if you're a woman in leadership, have you ever felt people responded to you differently because of your gender? Let's talk in the comments, and please be respectful. I'll see you in the next video.